Hey everyone, we'll continue our discussion related to OOPs. If you remember, in the previous video, we discussed about different components of OOPs like what is class, object, variables, methods. And also we learned about a syntax. And also we wrote a first program to construct a single house with urban design. So we'll do a few more examples so that you get a better understanding of it. So my next question is, write a program to check or write a program to construct house which has an Arabic design, 3 floors and also 5 rooms. So clearly, class is basically you have to construct a house. I'll just call it like a house. And it's given 3 variables. One is design. So it clearly sees that design should be Arabic. And then, so number of floors should be 3. And then we have number of rooms is equal to 5. Okay. And then I want to construct a single house. So I'll just call it like H1 is equal to. And we all know that object is constructed or object is created using the plan, right? Which is in house. Okay, done. Now you want to see what is the design of a house. Just call h1.design. Okay, when you are calling the variable, you're not supposed to call a tuples. Okay, so design is Arabic. I want to know how many floors. I'll just call h1.floor. h1.floors will give you 3 floors. And similarly, if you want to know like how many rooms are there, just call h1.rooms. It just says that there are 5 rooms. This is how you construct a simple OOPS program with multiple variables. Okay, great. So next interesting question is, you have to write a program to construct 2 houses which has an Arabic design, 3 floors and 5 rooms. So almost same question, instead of constructing a single house, you people have to construct a multiple house here. Exactly same code. Design is Arabic, number of floors is 3, number of rooms is 5. But we have to create our 2 objects, right? So first house is going to be H1. I'll call a second object is going to be H2. That's it. This is how you create our 2 objects. Let's say you want to see the design, just call h1.design, comma, h1.floors, comma, I'll just call h1.rooms. So it gives you design, number of floors and number of rooms related to first house. Similarly, you can also call a print statement. If you want to see the design of house h2, you can call h2.design. It says the same Arabic. Similarly, h2.floors, it says 3 floors. And then h2.rooms, it says 5 rooms. So clearly it says that both the objects are using the same plan, which includes an Arabic design, 3 floors and also 5 rooms. I hope it's clear. Great. So we'll move on to the next question, wherein we can implement the method here. So write a program to construct a house with urban design, number of floors is 2, and also include a method, add pool where children can swim. So I'll just define a class which is house. I'll define a variable which is design equals. Yeah. So design equals, it says that urban design. Okay. And then number of floors equals 2. And also anything else is given? No, number of floors is 2. No information related to our rooms. And then you have to create one method called as a add pool. Method in the sense behavior of an object, right? So it says you have to add a pool in such a way that children can swim. So when I say method, it's a custom function defined with, class. So I'm just going to define a function, def keyword, function name, it's add pool. And always remember, whenever you define a function within a class, it always comes with a default parameter, which is a self. You'll understand why self in the next question very clearly. As of now, just remember, whenever you define any custom function within a class, it always comes with a self. What the self will do, it helps you in calling your variables inside your custom functions. If you want to access our variables that are defined within a class into a method, if you want to access it inside this method, in that case, self plays a very important role, and you'll see that in our next question. Okay, so written, children can swim. Great. So you have to create one single object. I'll just call h1 is equal to, I'll call house. Okay, so we have created an object. Now let's say I want to see the design. So I'll just call h1 dot design. So it says design is urban, no tuple, sorry. Yeah. So clearly design of house is urban. I just want to know how many floors. So clearly two floors, great. I want to know what happens with add pool. You can also access your methods as well as the variables using object. Okay, when you are calling your method, always remember to call parenthesis. See, if you call your method, it is telling children can swim. Always remember for variables, we don't use a parenthesis, but for methods, you have to use a parenthesis because we are calling method, right? That's a way we use to call functions. When we call functions, it should be called with a parenthesis. I hope this is clear. This is all about, defining class, your variables, defining method, and creating an object. And then you can use the same object in order to access your variables as well as your methods. Okay? Okay. Next interesting question is, can you construct a simple calculator to find addition of two numbers? Great. I'll just call it like a class. Class name is calci. You know how calculators are going to work? I'll just show you a simple sample. So two variables are required. I'll just give it like a equals 10 and then I'll give it like b equals 20. You can also use input function as well. Okay, and then so method should be addition, right? So I'll just call define add. I'll just call a self. See, now you will see the usage of it. So define add method I'm using. I need to find sum of a and b, right? Okay, I'm just giving a and b, and then I'm going to create an object. So calci1 is equal to. So I'll call a plan which is calci, and I'm going to run this. So basically it's working, but at A and B it shows some error. Now let me try to access A value. So it clearly says it's 10. Similarly, let's access B value. I'll call c1.b. So it says 20. I'll try to call c1.add method. Add is a method right here. So it's giving an error like A and B is not defined. You know why? So A and B are defined within a class and you cannot access them directly within a methods. Okay, when you want to access any class variables within your methods, it's very important to use a self. Self helps you in accessing your variables defined within your class. Now it works perfectly fine. Instead of using self.a, self.b, you people have to use, instead of using just a plus b, make sure you use self.a as well as a self.b. This is how you have to use it. Hope it's clear. So similarly, we'll build one more, a complete calculator which performs a four basic operations. Okay, I'll just define a class with a name calci, and then I'll define a variable a is equal to, we'll use integer of an input, or you can also try with a float as well, and b is equal to integer of an input, so that we can take input from user. Okay, yeah. So then what I'll do, a equals b equals done. The next important thing is what? So I have to define a method. So four different operations. So that means we have to define a four different methods. So I'll just call it like add. I'll call a self. So it has to return. So when it's related to addition, obviously it has to return self.a plus self.b. Similarly, I'll define method for difference, that is for subtracting. So same thing, you have to use the same expression, written expression, but you have to use a minus sign, right? Self.a minus self.b. So I'm copy pasting the same. Let's make things smarter. So I want to multiply. So I'll change my function name to multiplication and symbol is going to be asterisk a times b. So similarly for division, I'll just use division and you can just return self a divided by self. Okay. Then you have to create an object. So I'll just call it like C1 equals. Objects are created using a plan, which is a calci. Done. Great. Let me run. So it is expecting values, I'll just give 100 and I'll give 20. Great. So now I'll try to call c1.a, comma, I'll just call c1.b. So it gives you A and D value 120. Great. I'll just call Steven dot add. It gives you addition of two numbers, 100 plus 20 is 120. Then Steven dot subtraction, 100 minus 20 is 80. Steven dot multiplication, 100 times 20 is 2000. And finally division, Steven dot division is going to be 100 by 20 is going to be 5.0. It's giving result in a float format. So this is how you write a OOPS program. I hope it's clear. In the next video, let's discuss about what exactly is a class variable as well as an instance variable. Thank you. Happy learning.